thought we had a great week of practice last week, and it led to a good game on Friday night, 5-win over the fifth best team in the country in Lowell, and then came back and a little disappointed on Saturday because I thought we played even better on Saturday and lost 4-2 with an open net. But still a great weekend, seeing that we lost to Vermont the week before, allowed 9 goals against, and shored that up a little bit. And we've got Colorado College coming in this weekend.
Coach, obviously, if you look back to last season, you had a rough start to the conference going up to Kalamazoo and coming out of there without any points. And the way it worked out was kind of not as usual in the sense that St. Cloud and North Dakota got off to such great starts. They kind of buried a lot of teams early. Does that put a little more importance on opening the conference season strong?
I guess I forgot about that, but you brought it up. So, yeah, we went into Western Michigan as the #1 team in the country, opened up our new arena with 2 wins over the Air Force Academy. This is a little bit different, but, you know, hopefully we'll have success in our opener against Colorado College and then go to Miami. So it's similar in a way, but we're not the #1 team in the country. As a matter of fact, we're not even in the top 20. So, you know, I don't understand the rankings, but this will be a big weekend to lead off the NCHC conference play.
Yeah, but it's important to get out of the gate better.
Oh, absolutely. You can't miss on any points. We thought last year the way we were playing going out towards the end of the year, we knew we needed a win or two to qualify for the NCAA tournament, and we didn't get it. And this year we're looking at, you know, every weekend's important in the NCHC. Every non-conference game's important for the pairwise. That pairwise should be coming out soon. I think we're fine in the pairwise. You know, going up and winning that tournament in Alaska certainly has led a lot of credibility to what we've done, and then a win over the 5th-ranked Lowell. So, you know, we've got to establish there's points out there, and we've got to get them when they're available. We got to take advantage of our home ice at Baxter Arena also.
Looking back at the last 3 years of this league, you know, Colorado College hasn't had a ton of success within the league necessarily, but for whatever reason, it has against you. Is there a reason for that? They've had more success against you?
Well, you know, when they beat us last year or the year before, I can't remember. We were their first win, and I think they were like 0-10. And that's not going to happen where they're going to lose every game. And sure enough, we were due. I watched the games and saw that they were playing real well. Matter of fact, board battles on Saturday night were, I think we led the board battles like 40-20, something like that. We had twice as many loose pucks as Lowell did, still lost the game. But out in Colorado, it was reversed, and I remember that. And then we turned it around the next night and won. So that loose puck is real important along the boards, and just like face-offs are. The face-offs were lost 48 on Friday night, and the next night we were even with them. So we were just awful. Won 30% of our draws on Friday, turned it around and won 50 on Saturday, and still lost. But you know, those little things, little at a time in every area, get better in certain areas. Power play has been great. Penalty kill's been great. So we're working on things that we need to get better at. But certainly Colorado College can't be overlooked. Yeah, they're the 8th place team in the league, but they beat New Hampshire on Saturday night out there in their arena, and just barely lost to Boston College the night before.
Does the psychological thing kind of help that you're playing, like they're not the 8th place team now? Now neither one of you's played the conference game. You're getting them right out of the gate instead of when they are 0-10.
Yeah, I think the challenge right now is to make sure that we're mentally prepared, and obviously we're mentally prepared last week. We had a great week of practice that led up to a great win on Friday night, and the same thing's got to happen. We got to get better every week. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, maybe there's a point where you can't get any better. You're playing as well as you can in every area. That might happen, but there's still a lot of room. There's competition between the guys right now. 3 goaltenders, 8 defensemen, and 15 forwards. We can only play 1 goaltender, 6 defensemen, and 12 forwards. Like you can tweak that number with defensemen and forwards, but that's normally what the formula is for the 20 players that you have. So there's guys sitting out that should be playing, and guys playing that have to be worried about if they don't play hard there's mistakes all over the ice, but if they're not playing hard at our level, they probably won't be playing the next game. So that's only healthy, and everyone's doing that right now. Certain players, like your top players, are going to play every game. The guys on the fourth line have to be worried about the fifth line. Those fifth and sixth defensemen have to worry about the seventh and eighth defensemen, and same with goaltending.
I know we asked you about this on Friday night, but now that you've had a couple of days to kind of think about it, was it important to taste some success here at home against Lowell to kind of shake that, whatever that bugaboo was that hasn't allowed you to win here lately?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I didn't think we had a total team effort against Vermont for whatever reason, and it's like you say, psychological. Maybe by going out there last year and beating them twice, thinking that it's going to be easier at home, that doesn't happen. They're a good hockey team. They overcame four of their better players sitting out because of a hazing incident. So, they rose to the occasion, and I thought we rose to the occasion last week. So hopefully now our players have learned that we're not good enough to have a part-time effort. We've got to be at the top of our game. There's going to be games where we play just as well as the team visiting, and if you're a little bit off, we're going to lose.
You mentioned the ranking thing a little bit earlier, and I know that it's not the end-all be-all because it's just votes in a poll, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. But to do what you did last week probably looked like you deserved to be back up in the poll, and I guess just the second part of that, how important is it for this program just to kind of establish that? And I know one thing I brought up last week, that Lowell had been ranked for 94 consecutive weeks, and that's the kind of consistency you want out of a program. So how important is that?
Yeah, they've had hockey a lot of years. We still are in our growing pains with 20 years, but I think when you move from the CCHA to the WCHA to now the Super League and the NCHC, there's not going to be immediate success. You've got to pay your dues. You're sitting there with the polls indicated we were number 5th, with Western Michigan and Miami and Colorado being underneath us. It means nothing. Obviously North Dakota went into Duluth and got beat twice last weekend, which doesn't happen very often either, but Duluth was the number 2 team in the country. So we're going to have this up and down with Denver being right in there too. So it's going to be that way the whole year. Rankings mean nothing except for at the end of the year when you're trying to get NCAA bids and that pairwise. So have we established ourselves pairwise? I think so. I think we're right in the mix of maybe between 12 and 20. Who knows? But that'll come out pretty soon. But it's taking care of business this weekend for sure for the points. There's 6 points on the line this weekend.
Although it doesn't mean anything record-wise or schedule-wise, does it help like just name recognition-wise don't you want to be a top 20 team every week so people are talking about Omaha?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it helps not only the pairwise, it helps your recruiting. Kids all over the country know our team, but they also know if we're in that pairwise. Last year, when we were number 1 in the country, that went all through our recruiting areas, not only the United States, but primarily for us, Western Canada. So every player up there follows college hockey, whether they go major, junior, and try the pro side of that when they're 17, 18 years old. They still know, who the top teams in the country are in the college game.
Success on the power play again this weekend. Are you surprised at all that you've been able to get a goal that way in every single game so far?
I'm surprised sometimes at our success, and then I'm surprised sometimes at our lack of success. Last year, are you kidding me, with Jake Genzel being the sniper that he is, walking right in and maybe putting a Penguin jersey on this year, not having success at the power play. Jake didn't have hardly any goals on the power play, and he's got a great shot. So we've managed to score goals a lot of different ways, but we're scoring them. So we're going to make sure, like in the morning, tomorrow morning, it's power play time from 7:30 to 8:30. We didn't have that opportunity very much last year with the new arena and all the rentals and everything going on with basketball and volleyball being in the facility. Now Mike Kempen has done a great job scheduling where Baxter Arena is kind of our home. Not last year, Holland Ice was kind of our home. We were over there all the time, too many times, because you're covering the ice. Anytime you cover the ice, it doesn't matter if it's Madison Square Garden or Baxter Arena, it takes a while for that ice to set. And this year we've had most of our practices over at Baxter Arena. It's starting to feel a little bit like home.
So you're saying that having the added time to work on that in particular, you think is leading to the success?
Well, it's so important right now with the number of penalties. It was no more important, the power play penalty kill, than maybe are you transitioning well? Is your neutral zone and your defensive zone coverage good enough? Are you forechecking well enough? There's 10, 12 things that are really important when you talk about systems in hockey, and power play is just one part of that. But now you take 10 penalties, you better be able to kill them, and if you get 10 power plays, you've got to score a goal or two. Anytime you're around 20%, from 15 to 20% is pretty good. You get up around 25, and you just hope that you stay there for a while.
Were you happy with the progression with regards to the penalties? Because you played a much cleaner game this weekend, and obviously I guess the results kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah, the only strange call was the penalty shot where Luke Snuggerud got his stick up on the other player's hands going in. We knocked the puck away on a diving play that was a great play. Yeah, I personally don't think it was a penalty shot call. Usually that player that's getting it has to be in clear separation from the back checkers, which that didn't happen. And then the little tweak to the hand, okay, if you're going to call it, it better be that consistent all the way through the game. Led to the penalty shot? I didn't think it was. Yeah, but the other thing is they scored on it. Our goaltenders on turnovers, like in the third period there when we turned the puck right over inside our own zone. Bad play by our right winger, but they scored on it. So our goaltenders got to be ready for things like that happen so quickly. Players in, next thing you know, we defend it pretty well. Bad puck movement on the power play that led to that breakaway, which led to a goal, on the penalty shot. But that's when we got to be ready for those things too.
You said the other night, and I'm sure it's based on the result because you probably hadn't had a chance to really look at them like you have now this week, but you said you felt like maybe Colorado College is a little bit better. Do you feel that way still about them now? Or?
Oh yeah, you just look at the scores alone. I'm not so sure that if we're playing on low ice, if we're going to beat them. Home ice is huge if you're taking advantage of it and the players are mentally prepared for it. But CC gave up 8 goals and lost 8-5, and then lost, I think it was 4-0 on Saturday night. Those aren't getting blown out just the way the game was played up and down the ice. But the next weekend when they had to go out and play Boston College in New Hampshire and beat New Hampshire and then played Boston College pretty close is kind of an indicator. It's kind of an indicator they're quicker this year. They're determined this year. They don't want to end up in 8th place in the NCHC. They want to make a stride, and that's what Mike Haviland was hired for.